Okay, we're on air. This is Beruz Buzorgnia. I'm here with Coach Steve Gilbert with introducing GMAX 35's program. Steve, are you on?
I'm here, Bruce.
How are you?
I'm great. How you doing tonight?
Doing well, doing well. Steve, we want to go over a little bit of introduction today. Just speak about first of all, who are you? I want to know a little bit more about yourself and how did you come up with this GMAX 35 program? Um, where and why you started this in your career as health and fitness. And so let's start with that. Introduce yourself. I know you're from San Diego, but go ahead and introduce yourself.
Sure. Yeah, of course. I'm Steve Gilbert. I'm originally from San Diego, as Bruce said. Um, I've always really loved fitness. Played a lot of sports growing up, and the short answer to your question is that I really started making workouts for myself to try to stay in shape because of having such a busy schedule. And from the time I was little, I always loved fitness. So even I can remember as a very small child standing in front of the mirror with a chair and trying to make new ways to balance and do different things. And throughout my life, when I had very little time, I would make up workouts for myself to try to fit in like 15 minutes, like timed workouts or 20 minutes or whatever I had. And just when I thought that life couldn't get any busier, uh, I had my son born, and so time got even shorter. And I really started playing around with a lot of workouts to try to fit it into my schedule. And one day I just thought, well, I'd like to share some of these workouts with people because I'm passionate about them. I love doing them. I think they're really good and effective. And I started showing it to my friends, and they liked it. And I got a crazy idea that maybe I would make a video. And
So, Steve, let me interrupt you here. I know your background. You're an engineer. You're a civil engineer, and you're not only an engineer. You're a very good engineer. You worked on some high-profile projects. You worked in Bay Bridge. You worked in Florida. Is that correct? So what is from engineering to fitness and health? So I know your drive is you wanted. Tell us a little bit about GMAX. Tell us a little bit about how this program came together, why and when. I know you kind of went over it, but as an engineer, what do you see as an advantage of yourself being a coach and an engineer? Is that contradicting versus?
no, I think they're complementary. I think that the biggest barrier to people being able to reach their fitness goals is really um, somewhat a lack of structure. Life is chaotic. So many things change. So many things happen every day, and having a structured program or a very organized, engineered program, so to speak, um, I think is a big benefit. And so I think they go naturally hand in hand, although engineering tends to be more dry and mathematical, right? And fitness is more of an emotional thing. The the hormones and the emotions that go into working out, the high that you get at the end, or even the difficulty getting started on any particular day with a workout are challenges. Those emotions are challenges. And so when you take a structured approach and you make something that's condensed into 35 minutes, that moves in a very structured way, and that's very fast, then it takes some of that emotion out of it. People know it's short, and all they have to do is listen and follow the program, and they'll have great success. And so that's
Great.
kind of how I tie the things together.
That's great. What influenced you to put this 35-minute program? Have you ever done any home workout videos yourself in the past? What is special about GMAX 35? Let's talk about GMAX a little bit.
Sure. The 35-minute time grew out of years of experimentation, basically. And that included all of my own experiences with making up, like I said, like different workouts to fit into time. And then even watching some of the other fitness programs that are out there. And I thought, how can I streamline this to make it as short as possible, but still make sure I have all the critical elements? And the critical things that I noticed some programs, in fact, even probably don't do as much of are having a solid warm-up. You have to have a correct warm-up so that you don't get injured. Um, Making sure that you have um, the most effective overlapping of workouts. In other words, you can do things like abs in
Hmm.
smaller groupings rather than 15 or 20 minutes laying around. If you do 5 minutes a day, you kind of overlap each day, you get the same effect. And psychologically, it's so much easier to do that, and you can pack so much more in. Um, but I think the biggest thing about
Are you
BMX,
saying if you would have to, because I know there's numerous other home workout videos out there.
right?
I've tried a couple of them myself. Um, what would you say the biggest difference is in between your program and other programs such as P90X and Insanity and other Beachbody products or other programs that are out there?
Sure. Well, I guess there's quite a few differences. Number one would be, I guess, starting with me. Um, I'm an engineer and a family guy. I'm not some huge guy that hangs out at the gym all day, and I'm not a big believer in supplements and things like that. So my quest is health and fitness for people more than anything else, more than size or anything else. It's about health and living life to its fullest, having time with your family, relieving stress. All of these things is
Hmm.
the main focus.
That's great.
These are
Um,
what I'm about. And you know, some of the other differences are, like I said, I wanted to make sure that we really optimized the warm up, um, the abs that we do, the way we do those, and compact it all into 35 minutes. So one of the biggest differences, or the way that we achieved that, was we pre-calibrate our weights. So in some other programs, there's a lot of explanation that goes in, or maybe you're tracking things, you're writing things down. But in our program, we don't do that. We pre-calibrate before you even start the first workout, so you know what your lightweight,
hey, Steve.
your medium, and heavy
Steve.
are. Yeah, yeah. Can you hear me? I'm here.
Steve, do I have? I can hear you. Can you hear us?
I can.
Okay. So we kind of missed one section here.
Okay.
That the question is, who is this program for? What is the hardness, or how hard or how easy is the program, and who can do it? Can the starter person start your program? Can someone that is completely fit start this program? What is your main audience?
Well, I of course wanted to capture the largest audience that I could.
Mhm.
Um, the outliers to that, I would say, if you've never done any exercise at all in your life, say you don't know what a curl is, you don't know what a dumbbell is, um, probably you need to brush up a little bit. Um, Make sure you get medical clearance, and maybe even spend a little time with a personal trainer or in some sort of group classes and kind of learn the basics. But beyond that, if you used to play sports, if you've done some workouts in your life and you know the basics, um, then this program is for you. And that goes all the way up to, we always show advanced moves. So for people who are very extreme, they've done some of the more extreme programs, I think they'll find this to be a challenge as well, because they'll take that advanced option and put it into practice. So I think we have a huge range of people that can benefit from the program, and that was our goal.
That's great. And within your 35 minutes, you mentioned that you have warm-ups included, apps, cool downs, and this is addition to the workout of the day.
That's
And
right.
okay, and so we have the Gmax 35 package, as Steve Gilbert was talking about, is this is really the best home videos for achieving a healthy life. It, most of us we have too much stress, especially in today's life. It's really a stress relief, if more than anything, in becoming healthy. From what I hear from you, Steve. Um, 35 minutes show keeps it short and fast paced, and I believe anyone can complete 35 minutes a day. But explain a little bit about your seven programs, the seven discs. What are you covering?
Sure. Well, one of the biggest goals of mine is to balance people out. Um, a lot of people might have some decent cardiovascular endurance, say they do some running, but their flexibility as they start to age starts to go downhill. Now they're more prone to injury. Or maybe you're big and muscular and strong, but you don't have a lot of cardio endurance. So my goal is to balance people out. And so we cover all aspects of fitness. On the first day of any given week, you do what's called total body challenge, which is weightlifting, and it's all muscle groups from top to bottom, basically your traps down to your calves, and including your abs. So you're doing some weight training. And then on the second day is a cardio day, and it's also working on some power moves, some plyometric type moves. So that's an element of fitness. And then the next few days are more targeted muscle groups. So with chest and arms, or legs, lats, and shoulders, you're zeroing in on those particular muscle groups to get a little bit deeper into those muscles. And on the last day of every week, we do yoga.
Oh,
So in addition to um, all of that, we have a lot of stretching before and after the workouts, and we have abs every day. So as you can see, that the goal is to really balance people out.
that is great. Um, Steve, I promised people here on this YouTube video, Google Hangout video, that we're going to talk about some healthy eating basics as well.
Okay.
Um, I know you for many years, and I know that you're you're very healthy yourself, and you like to eat very healthy. Can you give us some tips? Can you share some important tips on what are some healthy eating basics? What people can do to really get a healthier life, more energetic, happier life altogether?
Well, sure, Beirut. Of course, when I met you, you were on an all soup diet, if I recall. So
That's right.
I don't recommend the extreme diets, because diets are just that. There's something temporary. Maybe you have a very short term goal, and they can help a little bit with losing a few pounds, but generally speaking, people will gain it back. And so my goal with food is to develop a healthy eating lifestyle, one that is tasty, but very effective at providing lots of energy, and effective at keeping your weight down. So with that, what I do with food is I look at it from the perspective that you have two elements. You have food quality, which are the ingredients and the nutrients that are in the food, and we make sure we get that taken care of first to energize your body and keep it healthy. And then we look at quantity. How much of that do we need? So we have quality foods, and then we make sure that we're not overdoing it on the quantity, and that's all it really takes to have a healthy lifestyle. And there's a lot of variety that you can eat to get that.
So let me ask you a question. So from what I understand, as far as the food groups, we have the proteins and the carbohydrates and fats, right, in our
That's
everyday
right.
meal. What would you say it's the best ratio or a good ratio between your proteins and your carbs and your fats during the day? And if you would have named a couple of most desired ones, what would it be?
Okay, well, you know, protein is one thing that people should focus on. Um, Probably the upper limit of, being pretty healthy is like 30 to 35% protein. And that's going to
Hmm.
be essential for the body work that we're doing. Carbs, it's always recommended to be around
What are
65%.
what are some of the good proteins, Steve? What are the best source of protein?
Well, the most uh, complete proteins that you can get are actually from meat, especially red meat. Um, Now, for vegetarians, there's choices as well, which you can find some of those on our website, and a lot of them come in the form of beans and things. But
Hmm.
actually, the most complete protein that you can get would be red meat. But then that's when we trade off the quality as well, because there are a lot of saturated fats in red meat. And so, one step below that would be chicken, turkey, those types of lean proteins, and fish especially. So now a little bit less of the complex, complete proteins that you need, but still plenty to get done with what we need to, and not trading that saturated fat content.
Okay.
So my top recommendation is fish.
Fish, okay.
It is.
And soy
Long story
product.
short, my top recommendation would be fish. That's what I lean toward.
Okay, and I like fish. So
Good.
let's talk about carbohydrates, where there's
Sure.
seems to be a lot of problems that people have with carbohydrates. Really, what are some recommendations for breakfast, lunch? I mean, what are some good carbs that we can intake during the day? Because I know carbs are needed.
Well, carbs are important. They're not the end thing, right? People think, well, if I don't eat carbs, then I'm going to lose lots of weight, and the opposite is really true. If you eat too many carbs, you're going to gain weight. But getting enough carbohydrates, which are a primary energy source, is really important. And I start my day with oatmeal. Um, Oatmeal has fiber and carbohydrates, both of which are necessary for having a good, healthy, energetic day. So that would be a top choice on my list. Um, there's also some carb loading things that are going on, and people that are like endurance athletes and things like that may want to look into that. But I would tell people to kind of stay away from that with the pastas and the carb loadings unless their goal is to run a marathon or something more extreme. But
what about can I should I eat a piece of bread in the morning, or is that going to make me fat? Just a very simple
no,
question.
again, it comes down to quantity. So
Okay.
um, it really, the equation is, if you're burning more calories than you're taking in, then you're certainly not going to gain weight. So a piece of bread is fine, and in fact, in our healthy eating guide, that's one of the options at breakfast.
Okay. We're I want to cut this short. We don't want to. We're running out of time, but let's talk about the fats as well. What are some of the really good fats that you can get out of the food? Would it be, what would be your recommendation for the best desired examples of healthy fat?
Well, I'll tell you one that I use a lot is almonds. Almonds have a lot of fat. They have a lot of vitamin E. They're great for energy. Um, they keep you feeling full, and there's also a lot of fiber in the almonds. And so I use those for my snacks between meals. Um, you really want to avoid trans fats, and saturated fats are not the best idea. But other
Okay,
than that, fats make a good energy source, and they're fine. So,
great. Steve, thank you very much for all this information. Again, this is GMAX 35 introduction. Balanced and practical fitness. This seems to be the best home videos for a healthy life. Steve Gilbert put together the program, 35 minutes workout series every day for 12 weeks. The program is scheduled from total body challenge to adventure sports to yoga, warm up, stretching, and it's really an awesome program. Steve, thank you very much for your time, and we'll be back in touch with you next week.
Thanks, Beruz. I enjoyed it a lot, and hopefully we'll hit lots of topics that'll be helpful to people here in the future.
Perfect.
Talk to you soon.
Appreciate it. Bye.
Bye-bye.